Okay. So I want to go back a little bit to something that you brought up in the first segment when you were talking about um, healing not being linear,
Mm.
and what does recovery or healing look like for you? Um,
Yes.
so,
So I'll start from diagnosis, and then I'll I'll not go linear. How about that? So when I got my diagnosis, this was not shocking information to me because we had figured something was wrong for a very long time. And I actually had gone to my family doctor and said, I think I'm bipolar. And he told me, you wouldn't have a degree, you're too high functioning. He's not a bad doctor, he just doesn't specialize in mental illness. So it had to get ridiculously bad for them to see. And also I thought the depression was all of the problem. I thought the mania was just me, and also that I just had such a bad side, and that I should just work on that all my life. So despite the terrifying word bipolar, it was also a relief. So in that beginning, the reason that I rapid cycled so much, and they increased my depression meds so much, that when I did the switch, that medicine was probably the worst medicine for me, because it is supposed to help with your anxiety, but because I get both, the bipolar, it would only work on one thing, so it heightened one thing to most extreme level. And that is when I actually got help in a hypomanic state. So it took some time to wean me off the Zoloft, and then start this mood stabilizer that I take now. And I went through all the emotions, and I wasn't used to it because I was used to being depressed or being this, and I went back and forth and up and down, and I was very relieved and then angry, and relieved and then angry, and they could happen within hours, and I wasn't used to that. And so I isolated a bit, but I had some friends that really wanted to understand, and would make me leave the house, because I desperately wanted to leave, but I didn't know when I was going to rapid cycle and when I was going to have a true full-on anxiety attack for no reason. So you have to get to a certain level, which goes with your body weight, etc., to get the meds. And the med that I'm on has a 2% chance of having a, like, I don't know, I call it a lethal rash, but it probably isn't that dramatic. But they have to watch you and go up slowly. So it took about 6 months until I felt more even keel. Unfortunately, it was hard to watch because by then I had hit the depression state, and so they had to just move it around a little bit. And like I've said, I think my ups and downs are my downs are regular now. They're for specific instances. They're not just I turn gray and numb. So
you're better at verbalizing it too. Like,
yes,
in the late spring, early summer, we were talking kind of feeling like I might be having like a dip here, and you were able to say it, and then we could talk about what it means for you to plan your life to stabilize that a little bit better. And
yes, yeah. And those were specific instances. Like I had a few things, amazing, a whole bunch of amazing things all happen at once. So I love birthdays. My 40th birthday, I did all the things, and all friends made a party, and I did a photo shoot. And then immediately after my party, I went and had the most amazing, life-changing experience in Moose Jaw at Adamskakawak. So I was with people. Oh, and my mom was visiting too. So I wasn't alone for almost a month. So then when I crashed a little bit. But I think that would happen to most people because you do these life-changing things, and you come back and you're like, okay, what do I do now? And it feels like it was such a beautiful experience. I wanted to do it forever. So I'm able to see that more. However, a part of me still, even though it's been 8 years, still gets a little panicky that my old mean, very gray friend depression is going to come back. So I immediately reach out so that people can help me watch for it. I think that the hypomania really surprises me because it's helped the depression so much that I guess I assume it just catches me off guard because I'm, even though it's cyclical, and I feel like I shouldn't be feeling it. So healing moving forward, I think, has a lot to do with acceptance, and a lot to do with ownership, acceptance that even though I tell everybody these things, that yes, I believe in miracles because I believe in the Most High God and that He could heal me. But I can't live in that hope every day. I can live in the hope of the love and the experience I have with my faith. Absolutely. I can hold on to Jesus. I can do all these things, but I cannot hold on to this desperation to be healed, because that will affect my relationship. And even though I hate when people say all things happen for a reason, and I'm not going to say that my bipolar is a blessing. However, I don't think I'd be the person that I am today if I didn't feel things so deeply. I don't think I could relate to certain people that I might judge. I can absolutely put my feet in the shoes, is that the right saying? Feet in the shoes of an addict, because I can see that in myself that could happen. I don't know for sure, but I see that it could happen because I can get utterly obsessed with things, and or the fact that I still do things, much healthier things, to immediately to rid the pain. And I'm sitting in it more.
There's a few things that you've said that I think are really important, that you accept where you are, but acceptance and resignation are not the same thing. You have resigned yourself to a life less than you want to live, but you accept where you are, and you also accept that bipolar is part of who you are, and it's a complicated relationship. Like we talk, I've got a son with Asperger's, and I don't necessarily want his brain to be healed, because his brain is part of who he is, and it carries him, and the way he thinks about the world and sees the world is so interesting and is a gift to us. I just wish that he didn't have to struggle so much. And that's sort of my wish for you, is I don't want your brain to change, because it's awesome. I just wish you didn't have to struggle so much in the ups and downs. And so I think hearing your story, I can see how over the years you've learned different ways to cope and how to live and how to structure your life, so that each cycle you're living a little bit healthier and a little bit more with intention. And there's still dips and things that you wish wouldn't happen. But even those who don't have mental illness go through those fluctuations. And we said this too yesterday when we talked, that when you tell your story, there's so many things that are identifiable to people who don't have mental health struggles. Mm-hmm. It's just that you have all the things.
At once.
Yes, at once. And they're amplified. And so that's the struggle with having people understand that you seem so normal, and yet you still have all of this internal stuff going that you are fighting through and structuring for yourself, so that it isn't an overwhelming, debilitating experience when you go through these seasons. So when you look at your life, and you're right, your healing isn't linear. It kind of comes and it ebbs and flows, and it looks different. Mm-hmm. But how do you plan for the future? Like, what do you see for yourself when you look forward and you make plans and you have hopes? What do you see?
I think right now, I just want to say first that, yes, like the put together and the more realization, and the fact that I can even put this out here to the interwebs has been really healing for me. And I think continuing to do that only brings you know, when people say, you know, when you help other people, that helps your heart, and that it isn't always about helping other people. It's about how much it does for me. So I think why I do this and why I do this in video is because, one, sitting down and writing it all and editing it all is painful. Talking is healing to me, despite how, if I'm eloquent or not. And I think that I get a lot of comments like, you're brave and you're this. I don't think that I'm any braver than someone else that's dealing with this every single day. I have just found things that lighten the load, and I have found things that help me cope. And I think I do struggle with that because I know what I need to do, and I feel it strong in my heart that moving forward, I need to continue on this road. I need to search out places that I can find the lost and the lonely and the people that haven't yet found the help they need. Those people are brave. Those people are getting up every single day and dealing with it. So sometimes I just want to address that, because I don't ever want to wrap this in a bow. But I think what you're saying, that people can relate to these things, I think that inadvertently, well-meaning people buy into the stigma because it seems invisible, because they felt those things too. And whereas diabetes, I keep using that, but I've never felt like what it meant to be diabetes. So therefore, when someone tells me they're on medicine for that, I trust that they're on medicine for that. Most people have had anxiety, have at least had bouts of depression. You know, 1 in 4 women have a bout of clinical depression sometime in their life. Don't quote me. I think it's 1 in 4. I don't know. I can't think of that. But it's big. The number's big. You know, men as well in a different way. And I think that the difference is that they don't understand, because I've been living with it for 20 something years that I can remember. And it is all at once. I call it my spidey senses, which I'm realizing now is what they call sensory issues. Everything is very bright, like the window right now. I'm very aware of that. And I don't love the socks I'm wearing. They're kind of itchy. And people's voices and things, they can just really assault me almost. It feels like the world is coming at me. And when they're good things, I love it and I latch onto them. But the other things, it's overwhelming. And so I feel like a bad friend, a bad this, because I can't even listen to something. Or the other side is, the good side is that I am hearing everything, but I've thought of 10 steps ahead. So I'm not actually considering their ideas, because I've already thought that through usually, and think it's going to fail. And that's not okay. So working on that and being, you know, aware of it. But right now, I'm in one of the deepest hypomanic states that I've been in a while. Both my children have changed schools. I am an elementary teacher. I am a primary person. I know, you know, I'm not a superstar, but I know how to raise small littles. The preteen almost into the teens. I don't feel good at it, and it feels very, very hard. And I'm similar to one of my daughters, and I'm terrified they're going to make mistakes. And so I'm a little bit controlling. So I'm feeling like right now I need to do a checkup. I haven't gone to a psychiatrist in quite a while, because they discharge me very quickly when it's free. Because I'm high functioning and there's so many needs. I'm feeling like I need to go back to someone for a tune-up. Like, I am not past that. And I love therapy. I did get tired of it a little bit, because I feel like when I'm in this state that the things I'm supposed to do seem like mountains. The fact that I've realized that my extrovert healing is okay. I think is really eye-opening, and I think will help me in therapy and help me listen, because the first thing is to say the journaling, and not to say that that isn't helping. This video journaling helps me, but sitting down and writing with a pen and paper makes me shaky and makes me overwhelmed, and I write and draw and doodle, but I cannot, like I said, be linear, be sequential, be these things. And it's hilarious because I'm an event planner, and as well as a teacher. And when I'm like this, I don't plan linear, but I get it done. And I think a lot of the time I get it done well. When I'm not hypomanic, I can be more sequential. But I actually get bored really easy, and that's why I teach on call, and that's why I do events, and that's why I throw myself into causes that I believe in, like SheLoves.
And what I'm hearing is that going forward and looking at your future, it needs to be blanketed in grace. And from you, yes, because we've talked lots about how you self-stigmatize and your expectations for yourself are beyond what you would put on someone else.
Oh, yes.
And so I just want to wrap this up with just a word of encouragement for you to be generous with yourself as you are with other people, to walk in grace with yourself as you do with other people, to treat yourself with the same kindness and gentleness and respect that you treat other people with, because you are a gift. And whether you're speaking publicly or whether it's just you and I on the phone, or I see you with your girls, or I see you create art out of an event space, your brain is beautiful. And it's a gift to those around you. Just shower yourself in grace for yourself. And that goes for anyone who's watching too that struggles with the same thing. You're a gift to the people around you. And the world needs you. And they need you to be gracious with yourself and generous with yourself and kind to yourself. And so I just want to thank you, Shaylee, for being so vulnerable and so open to speaking and putting this out there, because I know people are helped. And I know it's hard to post publicly and respond publicly to the things that Shaylee shares. Send her a message or send an email into SheLoves. It's such a word of encouragement. And if you have any other topics that you're interested in hearing about, or people with different mental illnesses or people walking alongside or whatever, if you have ideas for Shaylee, please share those too, because this is important, holy, sacred work that she's doing. And I feel so honored to be able to share this with her and share this chat. So thank you.
Thank you. And thank you. This is self-care for me right now, that I didn't do this alone, and I did it with my friend that told me we're supposed to be friends and was absolutely right. So thank you. And yeah, I'm sure we'll talk on the phone soon. Bye.